Jaylen Waddle. We talked about him on the live stream on Friday, the 7 p.m. show. We attacked it more from the redraft perspective than the Dynasty. Shame on me. I'm here to rectify the situation, and we're talking Jaylen Waddle. A little bit of 2022 in this video, but I want to attack both Dynasty and redraft in this video. If he's top 6 to 10 from a redraft perspective, then you can't buy him later if the outlook for the current year is going to be through the roof. Jaylen Waddle, we're breaking you down from a Dynasty point of view, pal. Let's go. Okay, so this is pretty simple. Like Jaylen Waddle, everybody sees him coming to some degree. You're not stealing him away. Almost everybody knows he's got elite talent. He could be the next Deebo Samuel. He could be the next top 10 wide receiver. In fact, most feel like he's going to be the next top 10, 12 wide receiver. The question is, will he be eventually a top 5 or 6 wide receiver? Will the Dolphins use him like Deebo Samuel was used by the Niners, because the coach McDaniel came from that Niners system? He was thought to be a architect, if you will, of part of that offense and how they ran the ball and how they used Deebo Samuel. So anybody that knows what they're looking at here from a coaching perspective, and they dig a little deeper than the average casual, they know they're dealing with a player that has a lot of levels of potential, ranging from the usage to the talent to the coach, who will show commitment to a wide receiver and getting him the football, getting his playmakers the football. He's even gone on record, I'm kind of paraphrasing here, but McDaniel said something to the tune, you get the ball in the hands of your most talented players, and Waddle is talented. Identifying Waddle as a guy that needs the ball all the time. Music to the ears of any fantasy owner or prospective fantasy owner. So we know he's going to probably do really well in 2022. And unfortunately, that means that if you're buying, you kind of got to buy now, because his value will only increase. And if we're looking at a breakout season, you have literally no shot at trading for him after he even plays a couple games. So in existing dynasty leagues, you got to make the move now, even if it feels like the owner kind of sees it coming. The owner's kind of valuing him pretty high. You gotta bite the bullet. You got to buy him at value that may make you uncomfortable. Now in Dynasty, you're gonna have to pay a lot higher than you would in a redraft. Like in Dynasty for 2022 wide receivers, and this is Dynasty, you're looking at probably Jamar Chase on average as the number 1. You're looking at probably Jefferson on average as the number 2. Some might still like Cooper Kupp. Some may say Tyreek Hill. Some may say Deebo. Some may say CeeDee Lamb. Some may say, hey, I'm still drafting Adams or whatever. Let's just put Kupp here for argument's sake, and I know some may disagree, but I think a lot of people will actually agree, and some might still draft him higher in Dynasty. There's a good argument for playing for the now. So Cooper Kupp, I'm putting him there. Then you've got Hill, you've got potentially at number 5, you got a lot of people probably ranking Lamb here. Let's just say Deebo Samuel, and then probably I would say between 6 and 7 is where you're going to see Waddle on average go in a Dynasty startup. Unfortunately, like now that I'm looking at it here, I don't think it's going to be Adams. I don't think anybody's drafting Diggs. Maybe AJ Brown will compete with him for this spot, or Deebo or Hill. Like, could I see this kind of right here being a blender, getting mixed around? Yeah, I could. And don't forget Lamb here for sure. Lamb's going to be here, but this still leaves some room for upside. And when you think about it like a draft, you're probably looking at maybe 3 wide receivers going in the first round, and then 4 to 5 going in round 2. So at most, you're looking at him somewhere in this second half to the end of the second round, if I had to guess, which isn't horrible value, especially if you have a close to bookend set of picks right here where you've got the 24 and 25. Then it's almost like he's a 3rd rounder at that point. So you're getting 2 players right here, one of them being Waddle. I think I'm okay with that. And if you can trade for him at that value, I think you're really minimizing your risk. Now, I will say I don't love the idea of Tua being his long-term quarterback. I just don't. And I think McDaniel got a little excited picking up that phone and FaceTiming him and saying, you are my long-term guy. I'm going to put you in my will. You're locked and loaded, cemented into the starting job. He didn't quite say it that way, but this dude goes and pot commits to this kid, Tua, who I don't believe in. What happens if McDaniels gets an offer for Deshaun Watson? What happens if Tyler Huntley's available and you can trade Tua for a defensive piece or whatever, and then you can bring Tyler Huntley in? I'm just saying it was kind of a rookie move on McDaniel, who again I like a lot, but he's like committed now to Tua, and that might make him biased that he committed and kind of promised Tua the future. The world is yours, Tua, is basically what the vibe was on that phone call. So I don't like Tua as the quarterback. However, this kid's talented enough. Look how good Debo still was, even though Jimmy G was an awful quarterback. McDaniel was there to help make that happen, so we feel pretty confident that even if Tua's okay, that the offense will be designed potentially around Waddle, and Waddle's going to get a bunch of runs, jet sweeps. Maybe he isn't carrying the football up the gut like Debo was, or as much. He's a smaller guy. He's not built exactly the same, but you can run him on jet sweeps. You can give him runs that typically equate to like a reception. He's getting hit by D-backs more than he is linebackers or linemen. So there's ways to get him involved running the ball like Debo was used. Quick 1-yard tosses, whatever. Turn him into a running back in a sense. Block for him like he's running the football, but maybe not everything up the gut. That could keep him healthy. All in all, I think in redraft, you cannot draft him as a top 5 or 6 guy. In Dynasty, he's like right around that 6 or 7 to be safe. I think if you start dipping inside the top 5, you're missing out on talent that is a little bit more safe. But in the 6 to 10 for Dynasty, I don't mind that value. You'll probably have to pay it. And in redraft, you're much safer getting him at like that 9 to 11 or 9 to 12 range. Tell everybody about the new channel. This is a Dynasty clip channel. Really short and concise clips about one individual player from a Dynasty perspective. If you're new to my content entirely, this is my second channel. Go to the description and click on the link for my main channel, The Fantasy Football Show, or go to youtube.com/The Fantasy Football Show. The channel you're watching now is youtube.com/Dynasty Fantasy Football. But follow me on the two of them. Now get out of here.
This is The Fantasy Football Show.